Hello everyone, and welcome back to now the third video in this series on inference for proportions. This video is going to be relatively short. It's just about the difference in interpreting the confidence interval versus interpreting a confidence level. This is something that I see a lot of people make some silly mistakes on, especially in the FRQ section, but also potentially on the multiple choice section. And so I wanted to make sure we had a video talking specifically about that thing. So let's jump right into it here. When we talk about interpreting the confidence interval, it is always that we are Penn State statement. We are blank percent confident that the true, whatever the parameter is, lies on whatever interval you got. So you're looking for a statement that says something similar to that. It may not be that exact wording, but it's about confidence. You're not looking at there's a 95% probability. Nope. We are 95% confident that the parameter is here. So when you're looking at a multiple choice question, that's the type of wording you're looking for. And I think the interval one isn't difficult for people. Where people struggle a little bit is with the confidence level. And so when we talk about interpreting the confidence level, that is the long run percentage of intervals that will contain the thing you're looking for. So think of a confidence level like an expected value. It is the expected percentage of intervals that contain your population parameter. If I took every possible sample of a given size, whatever that size is, every possible sample of 30, of 50, of 100, of whatever, then 95% of those intervals will contain the population parameter. Right? And so the bullet point that I have here, the very short form of in repeated sampling of samples of the same size, which is something I'll add here. Right? So in repeated sampling of samples of the same size, whatever that size is, whatever your confidence level percentage is, that percentage of intervals will contain the population parameter. So let's take a look at a question here about interpreting the confidence level. CED here stands for course and exam description. That's where this one came from. And so we have an agricultural engineer that selected a random sample of 30 farms, and they constructed a 95% confidence interval for the mean size. And we got this interval from 367 to 558. Now, this was a multiple choice question that I deleted the answer choices from so we could actually write the sentence. Right? But here, the correct interpretation of the confidence level would be if we took all possible samples of 30 farms in the US, then 95% of the intervals would contain the true mean acreage. So one other thing that is helpful here, the interpretation of the confidence interval will always have numbers. You will use your endpoints. The interpretation of the confidence level will never have numbers other than the confidence level. If you look at that sentence, I wrote a bunch of nothing, right? I wrote a very theoretical thing that doesn't have much practicality. If I was going to ask you to interpret that interval, it would be, we are 95% confident that the true mean acreage lies on this interval from 367 to 558. But in interpreting the confidence level, you will not have a number other than the confidence level itself. So if we took all possible samples of 30 farms, and notice I specified the sample size, then 95% of those intervals would contain the true mean. So I hope that was helpful to help you distinguish the difference, because I can almost guarantee you are going to see a question that asks you to do both. Right? I've seen it on an FRQ where you had to interpret the confidence interval and then separately interpret the confidence level, but guaranteed this shows up on the multiple choice section. So again, I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.